Okay, you think I'm nuts, but I'm not. I promise I'm not. The sun moving into the sign of Aries, which really starts our new year. Now, if you've been tuning into my videos or you've been following me on Instagram, you know I've been sounding off about this since January. The year does not start January 1st. That's our calendar year. The real year starts in the spring, where the new energy comes in and everything emerges new. I mean, just think about it for a second. Why would we start something in the middle of the season that is focused on death, hibernation, rest, and retreat? It doesn't make any logical sense, right? And our ancestors knew that. They knew that, and that's why they didn't follow this calendar system. They followed one that was more in tune with the natural cycles of life and nature, okay? So I want to get into that a little bit more, but before I do, I just want to say welcome to Elevation 44, where we learn how to master our energy, and we do that through three main areas: spiritual alchemy, astrology, and holistic living. It's your girl B, and you know what we're talking about today because I gave you a nice lengthy intro. All right, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. If you're returning, welcome back, fam. Hope you're gonna learn something new today. Yes, we're following the wrong calendar system, and I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about why it doesn't make any sense to start the year on January 1st. I want to tell you or show you some of the proof that this is not the calendar system that is natural to us. And then I want to tell you about some ways you can capitalize on this new year energy, okay? Let's get into it. So spring is time for the new energy to come in. We've gone through the cycle of death and release, and now it's time to get that new energy. It's rebirth time. It's time to pull in the new blessings, right? We have to let go of the old in order to bring in something new. And so this is what spring and signifies after that death season or that release season, where we've released and we've retreated and we've rested and we've meditated, and now we're ready to take action in the spring. And that's why Aries starts off the entire zodiac constellation, but it also starts spring, because energy of Aries is all about that fast moving, get up and go, let's start. It's that energetic, high moving, motivated, let's go type of energy. And this is why it's perfectly aligned with the start of the real new year, okay? January is not that. Let's just be honest, okay? So if you look at nature and you observe the animals and the plants and everything like that, you will see that they follow this cycle. They're resting and retreating in January. They're not out there getting it, making it happen. They wait until spring starts to do a lot of that. So if we are just very observant and we can pay attention, slow down enough to pay attention to the natural cycles of nature, and we align ourselves with it, we will be more at peace and at harmony, not only as individuals, but as a society. Okay, now, I talked a little bit about us following the wrong calendar and how our ancient civilizations was following a different calendar. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the calendar that we're on now. The calendar that we're on now is the Gregorian calendar, and that prompt was made by the Catholic Church. I'm just gonna grab my tea. If you're wondering what tea I am sipping on, still crushing on this Virgo moon tea. I mean, it is bringing me so much peace. It's like peace in a cup. I get like, it really is. I have, it just calms. And you know, right now when things are crazy, this is the type of tea that I definitely want to be sipping on. It's available on the website if you guys are interested. All right, back to that. What was I saying? Our current calendar system, even though it was changed, the evidence that it was not the correct system is in how everything lines up with you know, the first month being January and the last month being December. Now, if you take a look at the actual calendar names, you will see some of the months, even though it was changed to this 1 through 12, January to December thing, they did not change the names to match the numbering system. So let me give you an example. September in our current calendar system is the 9th month of the year. However, the term set is meaning 7, okay? And you can look this up for yourself if you don't believe me. Same thing with October. October is actually really the 8th month of the year because oct is 8, like an octagon has 8 sides. Same thing for November is really the 9th month. And then December is the 10th month of the year because we are off and we are starting our first month or the new year in the period of death and retreat and introspection versus starting it when it's supposed to be aligned with the spring season where all the new energy comes in. People are kind of off, like our cycles are off, like as a society, like, and I noticed for myself when I was following that old system of subscribing to the new year being on January 1st and trying to get things started on January 1st, it just wasn't working out very well for me. So this system of aligning myself with the natural cycles of nature and just the natural order of things has definitely been much more beneficial. And that's why I want to bring this information to you, because I want you to be in line or in tune as well. So now that I went into my spiel about the whole calendar system and us being off base with that, now I want to talk about this new year energy and how you can capitalize on this energy coming in. All right, so there are 3 important things that I think that everyone should be doing with this new year energy. Now, the first one is identifying what you want. Or some people might just simply say this is goal setting, okay? Now, on January 1st, while everybody is putting into their new goals and plans in place, you know what I'm doing? They're like, I got this resolution popping. I'm gonna go start off in the gym and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. I am literally just writing down all of my goals, right? I'm writing everything down. And what I'm doing between January 1st and the start of spring season, I am literally just refining it. I'm meditating on it. I'm sitting with it and making sure that it's not only aligned with my bigger life goals, but it's something that like really speaks to me and a direction that I really want to go in. So that's what I'm doing. I'm refining between January and the start of the new year. So if you have already drafted your goals on January 1st and you try to implement things and things didn't go well, this is a really good time to look back on what your resolutions or your goals were for the year and just tweak it and just spend a little bit of time thinking about, you know, if you want to still push forward on some of these things. Now, what I do is after I have this list is that my final list drafted, I will post it in a place that I see every day. Now, mine so happens to be the kitchen pantry door. I literally just put up some chalkboard wallpaper and I literally write the goals on there. And the idea of seeing it every day is that it's a daily reminder of what you're working towards. And I gotta go in that pantry every day. I spend time in the kitchen like no other, right? Like that's like one of the places that we spend a lot of time in. So me having it there and seeing it and having that constant reminder is very helpful for allowing it to set into my psyche, okay? So this is something that I would recommend you doing as well. The second thing that I do under this whole umbrella of identifying what I want, my goal setting, is that I will create a vision board, okay? And the vision board is nothing more than a visual representation of my goals for the year. Now, a lot of people, you know, do vision boards. It's a trendy thing that a lot of people do at the start of the other year. We'll call it the calendar year, right? In January, a lot of people have their vision boards up and everything like that. But I don't really like to debut my vision board until the sun moves into Aries. And so what I do is I create the vision board, and then what I do is I hang it in my meditation space. The idea of this is I'm seeing the visual representation of what I'm trying to manifest. And when I go to meditate or spend time at my altar, this is what I'm constantly seeing. And again, it's being downloaded and really sitting into my psyche, okay? And this helps speed up the manifestations and a lot of the things that we want to accomplish during this year. So the second most important thing I think you can do with this new year energy is to release what no longer serves you, okay? So you want to get rid of what you don't want in your life, which is a purging process. Now, the timing, the cycle of the, the lunar cycle and the solar cycle is so important because the lunar cycle actually brings us the Virgo full moon as the last moon before the new year, before Aries, the sun moves into Aries, okay? So the importance of the Virgo full moon, if you haven't watched that video, I'm gonna link it in this video or in the description box below. But the Virgo moon is to come in to help us not only hone in on details, to figure out the how, right? But it's also to help us get organized and to purge what's no longer needed. And that is the beauty of how all of this lines up. So when you start really thinking about it, it really makes sense to follow it this way. Now, there's a reason why it's called spring cleaning, because we want to literally just do a deep cleansing and get rid of things, right? And it's not just material things. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about jobs. I'm talking about mindsets. This is a great opportunity to take stock of what's in your life and what needs to be released, because we cannot bring anything new into our lives if we're still holding on to old energy and old things, okay? So if you did not capitalize on that Virgo full moon energy, do not worry, it's still lingering around. We have not moved into another full moon cycle yet. So you can still utilize that energy to help you purge out or release what no longer is working in your life. So I would say the last, but certainly not least, most important thing that we can do with this new year energy is to take action, okay? Aries is, again, that action-oriented, let's go, let's start it, let's get it done type of energy. So taking and utilize this energy to take action. It's one thing to plan. It's another thing to purge and contemplate. But if you're not taking action, you're not going to get anything done. There's not going to be any significant progress, okay? So taking those larger goals, and again, this is where the beauty of that Virgo full moon comes in, that energy comes in right before the new year to help us get into the nitty-gritty of the details, the how. How are we going to make this happen? The steps that we need to take to go in the direction that we want to go in, right? So it's breaking those larger annual goals down into monthly goals, and then taking those monthly goals and breaking them down into weekly goals, and taking those weekly goals and breaking them down into daily tasks that you can do. I like the top 3 method for daily tasks, where you list out each day 3 things that you want to get done for the day. And as long as they're tied to your weekly or your monthly or your annual goals, you'll see that it all trickle up. Like every small step will add up. And so when you combine all the steps, then you see all this movement, right? You see all this, so it's like the idea that you're taking action every day in everything that you do. And that's the best way to, I believe, approach it, because sometimes you can just look at the bigger goal or the big annual goal and feel overwhelmed that you're not, you can't make it happen, or you're not gonna, get there because it just seems so big and so, far removed from where you're at now. But it's those little steps that add up, and before you know it, you're there. So that is my advice for you guys on capitalizing or utilizing this new year energy, okay? Spring, we got Aries, the sun in Aries, we have the new moon in Aries. So a lot of that, let's get it started energy. All right, so I am so happy to be starting in a new year with you guys, even though the times right now are a little bit challenging. The energy's a little wonky. I'm still very hopeful that a lot of us are still pushing forward regardless. We do have a bigger mission, not only individually, but collectively, that we are working towards. And I just don't want you guys to forget that in the midst of everything that's going on. Keep the faith, keep pushing, keep doing what you need to do, regardless of what you see, hear, or feel around you. Know that you are here for a reason, and you're going to be fulfilling your purpose regardless, okay? And that requires us just taking the time every day to just center, ground ourselves, meditate, just, keep ourselves grounded and in a right sense of mind. And I know that it's easier said than done when the energy is so wonky, but it's very, very imperative that we do that, okay? Go back to my Virgo full moon again and watch some of the herbs and the crystals that I recommend you working with to ground yourself and keep you centered. I mean, it's really gonna help. Like right now I have hematite around my neck, and hematite is great for grounding and just keeping you anchored. So spend time in nature, keep continuing to ground yourself and tuning the noise around you out, okay? I hope that you found this video helpful. I know it was kind of lengthy. I hope it's not going to be too lengthy. Hopefully I can cut it down in the editing, but if not, hopefully you found this information helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video.